Imagine talking to a woman and never running out of things to say. Every conversation feels flirty, easy, and fun, without you overthinking a single word. I genuinely want that for you, and that's why I've spent months breaking down conversations between guys who lose a woman's interest fast and guys who keep her leaning in. But along the way, I noticed something else that trips men up just as much. It's the art of not knowing if a woman is actually interested or just being polite. But that's a different skill entirely, and it's exactly what I cover in the Truth Detector. It teaches you to read what she's really saying instead of guessing. Link is in the description if you want it. But back to conversation. We all know this. Every date starts fine. Small talk, a laugh or two, but something happens. Then suddenly it slows down. You feel the conversation dying right in front of you, and you don't know why. So you panic a little inside, scrambling for something interesting to say. But the harder you try, the more boring it gets. But here's the thing. That scrambling shows up in more places than just your words. It shows up in how put together you feel walking into the room in the first place. Because there are little things chipping away at your confidence before you even open your mouth, and most guys have never noticed it happening. Take my belt, for example. I never thought a belt could mess with my head until mine kept slipping, a hole too loose and biting in a hole too tight, until I'd catch myself adjusting it mid-conversation instead of paying attention to the woman in front of me. You could imagine the embarrassment, but I was lucky because that's around the time Anson Belt and Buckle reached out to sponsor this video, and the timing could not have been better. Quick backstory. Anson's a family-run company that's been around since 2009, but instead of punching holes like every belt you've owned, they use a micro-adjustable track system with quarter-inch increments so the fit is exact every single time. No more guessing which hole is the good one. Once you feel that kind of fit, you stop thinking about your belt completely, which honestly is really the whole point. You can mix and match any buckle with any strap, so you're not buying 5 belts to match 5 outfits, just one system that adjusts to all of them. This matters for the same reason everything else in this video matters, because confidence isn't only built through what you say, it's built through small details that quietly work for you or against you all day. But Anson's belts move with you, sitting, standing, or walking into a room, so you stay comfortable the whole time instead of adjusting yourself the way I used to. I've worn mine non-stop since I got it, and I honestly don't see myself going back to a regular belt anytime soon. They're still family owned, they've earned over 40,000 5-star reviews, and every belt comes backed by a lifetime guarantee on functionality. And because Anson Belt and Buckle is sponsoring today's video, when you click the link in the description or scan this QR code to build a box set, you'll get 2 bonus pieces, a buckle and a strap, completely free. You'll get 3 buckles and 3 straps, which can be mixed and matched into 9 unique belt combos, all in one box. This is a deal you don't want to miss out on, so click the link, build your set, and upgrade your belt game today. Now, back to that dying conversation. Think about the best conversation you've ever had with anyone, romantic or not. The topic probably wasn't even memorable. What stuck was the back and forth, the teasing, the small pause right before a laugh. That push and pull is missing from most getting to know you conversations. Picture the standard script. Where are you from? What do you do? What do you like to do for fun? Each question sits there, gets answered, then dies, waiting on the next one. Her brain starts filing the whole exchange under safe, and safe kills attraction. Once she decides talking to you feels like filling out a form, that impression sticks, and it's hard to undo. So what actually happens in a flirty conversation? The kind where she's leaning in instead of checking her phone. To really understand this, we need to look at what the records tell us about flirting. A researcher named John Gottman spent decades studying how couples talk to each other, and his work kept pointing to the same idea. Real connection comes from emotional tone, not the content of what's said. Flirty conversation runs on the same principle. The words barely matter. It's the feeling underneath them that does all the work. That feeling comes from something researchers call playful teasing, and it isn't about being mean or sarcastic. It's more like a specific kind of push and pull that naturally fits into every conversation. She says something, and instead of agreeing or firing off another question, you react to it instead. You challenge it a little. You try to make a small joke out of it. She says she's from Ohio, so instead of, "Oh nice, what's that like?" you say, "Ohio, huh? I'm gonna need you to defend that." It's small, it's harmless, but it shifts the whole dynamic. You've stopped trying to impress her and started playing with her. But knowing you should tease and knowing when to tease are 2 separate skills. Tease too hard, you sound mean. Tease too soft, it just reads like a regular question wearing a smile. Get the timing wrong, and instead of a laugh, you get a flat, haha, okay, back as response. Now you're stuck wondering if she's annoyed, or just testing to see how you handle it. But that exact confusion, not knowing if she's pulling away or pushing to see your reaction, is one of the most frustrating parts of dating. I know this, and it's the core reason behind the Truth Detector character in the first place. So instead of guessing at her real reaction, you know what's actually happening instead of spiraling over a text 3 hours later. But back to the mechanics of teasing, because the joke itself barely matters. What you do in the 3 seconds right after decides whether the whole thing lands. Right now, think of it happening. You make the joke. Ohio, huh? I'm gonna need you to defend that. But there's a split second where most guys panic. They laugh nervously, or worse, they soften it immediately. Haha, just kidding. Ohio's cool. Right there, the whole thing collapses. Tension gets built for half a second, then apologized for. So what do? Hold it instead. Let the joke sit there without rescuing it. Keep a straight face, maybe raise an eyebrow, and wait. That silence feels long in your head, but to her, it reads as confidence. It says you meant the joke. You're not scared of her reaction, and you're not chasing her approval by explaining yourself. Tease, then hold. Don't tease, then apologize. Think about the last time you said something a little bold to a woman and immediately backtracked or over-explained. That backtrack probably killed the moment, not the original comment. And speaking of comments, let us know your worst dating experience in the comments. Who knows? Your story might just be saving someone from a lifetime mistake. But once you stop rescuing your own jokes, you open the door to the next part, the part most guys undo without noticing. Picture the moment right after she laughs at your tease. She's warm, she's engaged, maybe she teases you back. This is exactly where guys make their move. They read that warmth as an opening to prove themselves, so they follow the laugh with a compliment. You're actually really funny, or reassurance. I'm just messing with you. You seem really cool. It feels natural, feels polite. But watch what it does. The second you validate her right after she's warmed up, you hand back all the tension you just built. She was leaning in, curious, slightly unsure if you meant it. Now she knows exactly where she stands, and the chase is over before it started. But attraction, in that early spark stage, runs on a little uncertainty, and it's not manipulation, just enough unpredictability that she stays curious about what you think instead of already knowing. So redirect instead of reward. She laughs at your Ohio joke, so instead of "you're funny," you say, "Okay, don't get used to me being nice to you." You're not rewarding her warmth with more warmth. You're keeping the game going. Tension in, tension out, and that single redirect turns one funny exchange into an actual rhythm instead of a joke that fizzles right after. Psychologists call this pattern intermittent reinforcement, the same mechanism that keeps people pulling a slot machine lever. Predictable rewards get boring fast. Unpredictable ones keep people engaged. Flirty conversation runs on the same wiring, and it's not because you're manipulating her, but because certainty kills curiosity fast, and curiosity is what drives attraction. So here's how the 3 steps fit together. Step 1, stop interviewing her. Playfully challenge what she says instead. Step 2, hold your tease instead of softening it the moment it lands. Step 3, redirect her warmth back at her instead of rewarding it with compliments or reassurance. 3 small shifts, and the entire tone of the conversation moves from polite to genuinely flirty in minutes. But none of it works if you're doing it to perform. A guy who teases just to follow a formula sounds exactly like the guy asking interview questions just with jokes attached. She can feel the difference between playing and performing, even if she can't name it. So the real shift comes from getting comfortable enough in your own skin that teasing her feels fun instead of something you're doing to win her over. But that level of comfort comes from knowing where you stand with her instead of constantly managing her reaction to you, which is exactly why so many guys stay stuck overanalyzing every text and every laugh. They're reading her without any real information, just guessing off vibes and hoping they're right. But if you've made it this far, you clearly want to understand this stuff instead of winging it forever. So go check the link in the description for the truth detector. It will save you a lot of nights spent rereading old texts, wondering what she meant by LOL, okay. But before you go, remember, Anson Belt and Buckle is the reason today's video happened. Links first in the description if you want to build your own box set and grab those 2 free pieces while the offer's up. Try this the next time a conversation starts going flat. Don't ask another question. Tease her, hold it, and watch what happens when you stop rescuing your own jokes. You don't win her attention by being the most interesting person in the room. You win it by being the only one in the room who isn't trying to. Like and subscribe for more.